Hello, it is 2:06 p.m. on March 19th, 2021. I'm going to resume the reading of Other People's Money and How the Bankers Use It by Louis D. Brandeis. I will say before I begin that somebody apparently is on this bandwidth, and they should not be. I am not going to turn the camera off, but you need to get off this bandwidth now. Then you maintain at your own risk we're going to begin about 40% of the way down on page 132. Banker protectors. It may be urged that reputations often outlive the conditions which justify them, that outlived reputations are pitfalls to the investors, and that the investment banker is needed to guard him from such dangers. True, but when have the big bankers or their little satellites protected the people from such pitfalls? Was there ever a more bee-bankered railroad than the New Haven? Was there ever a more banker-led community of investors than New England? 6 years before the fall of that great system, the hidden dangers were pointed out to these banker experts. Proof was furnished of the rotting timbers. The disaster-breeding policies were laid bare. The bankers took no action. Repeatedly thereafter, the bankers' attention was called to the steady deterioration of the structure. The New Haven books disclose 11,481 stockholders who are residents of Massachusetts, 5,682 stockholders in Connecticut, 735 in Rhode Island, and 3,510 in New York. Of the New Haven stockholders, 10,474 were women. Of the New Haven stockholders, 10,222 were of such modest means that their holdings were from 1 to 10 shares only. The investors were sorely in need of protection. The city directories disclose 146 banking houses in Boston, 26 in Providence, 33 in New Haven and Hartford, and 357 in New York City. But who, connected with those New England and New York banking houses, during the long years which preceded the recent investigation of the Interstate Commerce Commission, raised either voice or pen in protest against the continuous mismanagement of that great trust property, or warned the public of the impending disaster? Some of the bankers sold their own stock holdings. Some bankers whispered to a few favored customers advice to dispose of New Haven stock. But not one banker joined those who sought to open the eyes of New England to the impending disaster and to avert it by timely measures. New England's leading banking houses were ready to cooperate with the New Haven management in taking generous commissions for marketing the endless supply of new securities, but they did nothing to protect the investors. Were these bankers blind? Or were they afraid to oppose the will of J.P. Morgan and Company? Perhaps it is the banker who, most of all, needs the new freedom. It completes the chapter at the top of page 134.